using debt. Now, in full disclosure, I'm someone who absolutely loves debt, and it has been one of the foundations for building my real estate portfolio. But one of the things about debt is, number one, when you have debt, you talk about the $100,000 that we talked about before. You would need to use, let's say, 20% of that. But if it's a rental property, most likely right now in the United States, they're asking for up to 25%. So you would need to use 25% or $25,000 to go out and then to be able to purchase a $100,000 property. And that's also depending on a couple of other things. You need to understand what your credit worthiness is, meaning what is your credit score. You'll also need to think about if you've had any past issues, not just with credit score, but have you ever had a house foreclosed? So there's a lot more rules and regulations that you need to go through. But once you go through that, you're using only 25,000 of the 100,000 that you have to be able to go out and purchase that same property. So actually you're using less of your cash to go out and get more assets. So the positive part is, once again, you can use less money to go out and secure more assets. The thing that you'll need to be aware of and you'll want to think of is the fact that there is going to be much more, let's say, paperwork, especially if you're using a traditional lender. Now, the thing you also need to be aware of, whenever you're using leverage or you're borrowing money, you also need, there's a higher level of responsibility. So you really need to understand what you're doing when you are using leverage or borrowing other people's money.